Welcome to Legacy Code Hero, guys. So I think you deserve to look at the driver in action. So here I have my favorite game from childhood, Sonic the Hedgehog, and here I'm showing on the right side terminal. This is the controller I've been using. You know it. You have seen it on the recordings. And this on this second tab, whenever I press a key, it's gonna tell us what key was pressed. So I'm gonna play the game a little bit so that you can see what's going on. So it responds very well. It's just it has a little bit of a lag, but that is to be expected. My only complaint is that whenever Sonic's running, it should spin easily, and I shouldn't struggle with this spin right here. If I didn't have the driver, and I would be able to do that from the first try. But other than that, the game works pretty well. It's just like I said, it's just a little bit laggy, and that's not that great. But for older games like this, if you can time it, you will know how to adjust with the little lag that the X server is gonna add. So one thing to notice is that the game right now is getting input from the Linux kernel and also from the X server. That may cause some problems. That's something that we cannot avoid, because that's how they made the software for this emulator. They don't use the X server. So without the driver, I wouldn't be able to use the controller this way, and you wouldn't be able to see all the output right there on the right side. Now if I press the keyboard, you're gonna see the serial number change here. So you're gonna notice that's a different device. Okay, I have to have this right here. So whenever I press this, you see serial 31. Now I'm pressing the keyboard. Then I'll go back to pressing the controller. That's like adding another device to the X server. So the serial number increases, and you know it's a different device. So right now I'm just using the controller, and yeah, that's fine. You know, I think the main goal of this whole series was to see if, you know, just reading some code from the X server is not documented. It's just one guy trying to understand it and try to use it to make a driver that he can use for playing his favorite games. And now the idea for me is to make my own games, fairly simple games like this one. I mean, not 3D games. I'm not into 3D graphic games. Once you have played, for example, Halo, Call of Duty, you have played them all. At least the first-person shooting games. It's pretty much the same thing. I like 2D platformers and Metroid, things like that, and Sonic, obviously, favorite game. So yeah, maybe in the future I will be posting videos about a game. But for now, I'm gonna take a little bit of a break of gaming development, things like this. I want to try a different series right now, which is about making HTTP server in C++. So if you stay tuned to my channel, we're gonna explore the possibility of doing that. I know some people have done that before, but I just want to do it on my own way, and I just not trying to do that as a hobby. I actually want to ship production code with that server. Pretty much I don't want to use Python or JavaScript to build the backend. And the front end, it should be just plain HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. You probably won't agree with me if you're a professional web developer, but me, I like transparency. I like, for example, as in here, if you're working with C++, you just compile it, you can look at the assembly, you know exactly what's going on. If you use a framework, JavaScript framework, it's gonna give you something which is gonna be different from the code that you're writing, and I really don't like that. And frankly, I haven't used that JavaScript frameworks that much, to rant about it, like, oh, this doesn't have this thing which I need. So I'm not gonna complain too much about that. But the reason why I want to use C++ to write a server, it's because I feel comfortable here. This is my place. This is what I like. If I want to know what happens on a network socket, I can do that because I have to program it. So if you kind of are interested in that, sure, stay tuned. I'm gonna be posting things about that, and the reality is that this is not a hobby. I actually want to make money by using that code, and it's gonna be open source. If you want to use it, use it. If you don't try it. That's not. It doesn't have to be closed, you know. Well, guys, I'm really happy that you're enjoying. If you have followed along up to this point, I'm really thankful for paying attention and be interested in things I'm sharing. I hope you have learned something on every episode, or at least you have enjoyed or have some fun watching me try or struggle or explain things around. So I'm very thankful for that. So I think we can wrap up in here, unless you want to keep watching me play this old game. But it's a really awesome game. I think I have played it like hundreds of times. No, I'm not like crazy about games that I have to do it perfect. I don't mind, you know. I don't do speedrunnings or anything like that. I don't have much time to play games. This is not the norm, guys. Mostly I don't have time to do this. So this is the exception to the rule. So guys, what else could I say? You can reach me on LinkedIn to connect. If you want to work an open source project with me, there I am. Or if you need some advice or anything from a person, not AI, I'm here too. And it's not like I am anti-AI. It's just that I feel it's not that good, at least for the things I care. There you go, the spinning failed. I pressed down, but it didn't detect that. That's the one thing I don't like about this, but this is more of a bug in this game. I tried Sonic 2 and it works fine. Well, it works better on the spinning than this one. So yeah, so going back to the AI thing, it's like, I don't know, I just don't like the idea that when you're using AI, you're not really learning. If you're just accepting the code it generates. And the thing is that the way we are is that once the code works, you have little motivation to understand how it all works. I don't know if it happens to you, but I have used AI for some time and I really didn't like that aspect. And the thing is, if you're working for a software development agency, they want you to deliver things at speed, so they probably don't want you to look at the code that you're writing. Well, that's what happened to me. And I said, no, thank you. This is not how I want to work with software. So this is why I want to start my own thing. So instead of being an employee, I want to be the boss. I want to be part of a team that cares about code, that cares about software. And yeah, if you need to use AI, use it sparingly or for things that make sense. But for code, I don't think it's that great. And the main reason is because you lose connection with the code that you're building. Essentially, that's just the main thing. But when you're building it, you're working on it, and every day you are creating a mental model of where things are. And if something goes bad, you know exactly where to look. It's the last lines you probably wrote. So it's actually better not to use AI. And if you're learning, the more reason not to use it, because you're not going to learn how to deal with difficult problems on your own. And that's what engineering is all about. Yeah, sorry for sounding like a professor, but you know, I am a professor too. So But I am doing both things. I'm not just in the classroom, I'm also trying to be like on the field, trying to make things work. I don't know anything about networking, just the basics. Like, I know that every device connected on the internet must have an IP address, and if you're going to connect to an HTTP server or SSH client, a server, you need a client, and that client is going to connect, like, it's going to try to connect to some socket. If it's HTTP, it's going to be port 80 or 443 if it's HTTPS. But the server is not going to respond on that same port. It's going to respond in another. And I've learned that by reading the man pages and looking around before there was even AI. And just that knowledge has helped me to write some of the HTTP server code. Yeah, I'm telling you about all of this, but I already have a working HTTP server that responds to GET requests, all written in C, C++. And yeah, like I said, my plan is to make it work and actually have clients willing to use that, because it's actually much more efficient in terms of energy. If there's nothing to do, it just goes to sleep, and if there is a connection, it wakes up and responds right away in no time. So yeah, that's what I want to share with you guys. To those who are interested in doing that, we'll be doing like web development, but from a systems perspective. And I think that's even more fun. It teaches you a lot of stuff about Linux, like it forwards errors from the TCP/IP protocol towards the server, and you have to treat them like try again. Try to read from the socket again, or try to write to the socket again. And if you're on Linux, you know, everything is a file. So doing an HTTP server on Linux is not that hard. It's just about reading and writing, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, of course you have to know a little bit about the protocol, and guess what? That's what I've been doing. I've been reading about the HTTP protocol, and I've just been writing code that implements the basic one, like the GET method. Just starting with that. Most of the websites that you interact with, that essentially what they use, unless you require some authentication or anything like that, then it will be a post. But that's what I'm trying to say. You can learn a lot about computers by just reading and writing some code. And I think that makes you a better software developer than just using AI and getting things done. But if you have to do that because you're already working, okay, fine. Use it, because you must. But whenever you get a chance, if you like writing code, you will be writing code in the weekends maybe. But if you don't, then I don't see you writing code at any other time ever. I'm not criticizing, it's just me guessing, guys. So I've been talking a lot, so I think I should be saying signing off for today. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this series. It was very short, but I wasn't trying to do another Handmade Hero by Casey Muratori, which has like 700 episodes almost. I'm not trying to do something like that. Just share the knowledge I got from trying to write a driver myself for the X server, so that I can use that eventually for my own games. That was the main motivation. And the other is that there's nothing to be afraid from reading somebody else's code. So we can learn a lot from X server code. And even though we didn't see any of that, if you ever read it, you're gonna find the standard algorithms that you learn in the classroom. Like, there's even bubble sort in that code. It's funny because they say, hey, yeah, it's slow, you're using it. And not exactly like that, but you know, they put comments like that. They use linked lists, things that they probably tell you in the classroom that, hey, don't use that. But guess what? It's in the X server code, and yeah, we use it every day. Of course, if your Linux distribution is not using Wayland, but I haven't looked at the Wayland code, but all that I know is based on the X server code. So I don't know if they got rid of all things like that, or the old stuff like that. I don't know. Will be interesting to know. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the series, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for spreading the word to your friends, to your colleagues, to your peers. The idea here is just to share whatever we learn by trying to solve problems or discover something new through code. So I'm very thankful once again for your time. So we'll be seeing you next time. So guys.